Good evening, everyone. This is Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo, and this is another episode of SCAA News. This is a special report, the Starfarer. Starfarer is a ship made by MISC, or MISC, I guess. We'll talk about that in a little bit, because there's a lot of things that happened over the weekend. First off, we've hit the $29 and $30 million stretch goals, which means in the last week, we've hit 3 stretch goals. We've unlocked the consolidated Outlands Mustang. Thank you very much. We have provided more funds for enhanced mission design of Squadron 42 to Aaron Roberts and the folks over at Foundry 42. So we could expect to have some impressive immersion in the beginning of that game all the way through. And that, of course, is how you earn citizenship in the Star Citizen universe. You have to complete the actual Squadron 42 campaign for that. Of course, you could always play the game without, well, you could always be in the Star Citizen universe without playing the game, but it helps. Gets you better reputation and lower prices at certain merchants. Something cool to do. We've also just recently, I think it was yesterday morning, probably right around 3 a.m., I'm not sure, and I'm Eastern Standard Time, we unlocked the $30 million stretch goal, and that was the biggie that we talked about at the last show. The Origin JumpWorks 890 Jump, a huge luxury liner. What we're going to talk about now is what is the $31 million stretch goal. It is a mining ship. We voted in the mining ship, which I'm very happy about. Many of you are really pushing for other professions. We already have salvaging in there. Obviously, mining is going to be there. And this is actually the first mining ship that I see in the game. It's the RSI Orion. Roberts Space Industries' goal has always been to make the stars available to the individual citizens. Now, with the RSI Origin mining platform, RSI is letting individuals take over the process formerly controlled by megacorporations. The Orion's features include high-grade turret-mounted tractor beam arrays, double exterior accessible saddlebags for mineral storage and cabin designed by the team that brought you the Aurora and the Constellation. Something tells me this isn't just a stretch goal. This is probably something they've already got concepts out there for, I hope, because there's a lot of information in that one statement. I hope we get to see some concept art on Tuesday during the live stream. Well, hopefully. And of course, then I said, after mining, everyone go for salvaging, and we got it. So the $32 million stretch goal, which is going to be the one that we hit after tomorrow's $31 million stretch goal, yeah, I'm predicting sometime between 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, we're going to hit 31 million. It's just the way things are going. There's tons of people waiting on that Starfarer. After I talk about it, you'll see why we're going to hit that goal so quick. So we're going to be working on this. The Surveyor, from noted military contractor Aegis, is an industrial quality salvage ship. Equipped with reinforced cargo bay, long-range jump drive, and launch pods for unmanned drones. The Surveyor is an ideal ship for taking advantage of deep space wrecks. Tractor beams, floodlights, scanner options, and docking ports round out the tool chest on this capable utilitarian spaceship. Very, very, very happy about this one. Again, they have the salvage mechanic that we unlocked before. Now we're starting to unlock some of the tools for this. So we'll be able to start looking at these as being the ships that are going to be in our face for the next year. Isn't it bad enough we spend all this money on the ships already? We don't even have the game, and they're already coming out with new ones. Something tells me the game here isn't the game itself, but it's how much can we spend before the game goes live. Whatever. We love this, and I can't wait for the game to go live, so I could jump behind the seat or take the helm of some of these wonderful ships. So that's where we're at currently with stretch goals. So we've had quite a week, and I've been doing a video a day for each one of the sales. This weekend really did take off. We've done probably $1.75 million this weekend alone, I think. It seems to be like these 3 ships, the Retaliator, the Gladiator, and the Super Hornet, have really taken off. But you got to remember that they're 2 and 3 times the price of all the ships that were out before. If you look into it, there's probably just a little bit of difference in price that's making it look like they're more popular. They're probably all just as popular as one another. When I was looking at the M50 versus the 350R, it looks to be, when you do the math, that they probably sold within a couple of hundred of each other. Really seems like, and even this, I'll say even the LX seems to be selling as much as those. The Caterpillar didn't do what I thought it was going to do. I thought that was going to just go through the roof. But I knew that this weekend was going to be a biggie, because there were a lot of people that wanted that Retaliator that weren't able to get it, like myself the first time around, that when they showed the artwork for it, we all kicked ourselves in the butt. Now, I never had the money to get one, but, you know, it really did make me feel a little bit sad that I didn't even contemplate getting one, because it actually is a beautiful ship. And for that reason, I want to thank another benefactor that hangs out in the subscribers den. I think I'm going to hold his name back for now, and I'll tell everybody if he says it's okay. I was gifted a Retaliator, and I'm grateful to you. Thank you very much. It's going to be used well, and it will be used for the show when I review it. And I really thank everyone for being so supportive. And with that, before we go on to the Starfarer, I want to thank everybody that helped me get to my 100 subscriber goal. Thank you very much. When you're looking at the 2-digit numbers for subscribers, you feel like you're up here doing it for a few. And once you see 3 numbers up there, you know, the 3-digit numbers, you tend to feel like you're starting to get a little bit back. And, you know, I really appreciate all the kind words, all the gratitude, and all the shout outs that you're all giving to me for doing the video. All right, so this is the next piece I got to talk about. The show was mentioned, and the thread on the subscribers den was mentioned in Wingman's Hangar number 46.
Batgirl, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so Ben?
Oh yeah. Let me break in here. Remember last week's MVP, which was delivered by our fantastic producer, was for like a Star Citizen Anonymous thread. Batgirl here actually runs a Star Citizen Anonymous video, and there's a thread in the subscriber forum that we're not supposed to talk about. So we want to say that is also great there. We're going to give MVP to the people who run that thread too. We're sorry for not mentioning it last week.
There you go. Fair enough. So that's no worries.
Excellent.
And it seems that Ben wanted there to be co-MVPs last week, and they only called that one. And I'm going to say, Hawk, awesome. I'm very happy that we got to share that title for MVP for that week. And of course, Chris Roberts won MVP this week. But we got to share MVP that week, and I think that we both have wonderful communities. I'd love there to be a crossover so some of them could give their confessions on my show. Let me know what you all think about in the Star Citizen support community, and see if maybe you want to take part. If you don't feel right about posting over in that thread, just post your actual confessions over in the SCAA thread, in general chat, or over in the fan site. I have those 2 places out there for those of you that are not subscribers. I want this to be a video podcast for everyone, not just the subscribers. All right, we're going to move on. We've got quite a bit to talk about on the Starfarer. So, the MISC Starfarer. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read right out of the jump point, which I found out I am allowed to do. Got a little scared that Ben would get mad about me talking about things that are just for subscribers. But in this case, this is something that's going to help with the show and help with your purchase. All right, so this is what the MISC corporate review, or corporate, well, let's just say review, says in the jump point from last month. And I'm just going to talk about this one piece, the Starfarer, where the Freelancer was designed to appeal to a wide variety of small-scale roles. The Starfarer is a niche spacecraft through and through. As such, it has become the galaxy's standard fuel transport. Seeking to expand their private spacecraft lineup, MISC Analysis Board conducted an 18-month survey of space travel, which resulted in a 15,000-page study on ship roles and the current shortcomings faced by space pilots. The end result, a decision to focus development efforts on dual-role fueling craft capable of both collecting spaceborne fuel, in other words, going into one of the gas giants and sucking the gas out of the big giant planets, and refueling other spacecraft in flight. Before the Starfarer launch, both of these roles were performed by wildly different spacecraft, none of which were intent designed. Refueling was conducted by bulk transports equipped with massive aftermarket tanks, and the process itself had become a notoriously dangerous refueling operation. No ship is more vulnerable than when engaging a refueling operation. A rule of thumb for pirates states that a ship caught refueling could be captured intact, as no captain would ever risk a firefight breaking out. Starfarers carry massive internal fuel tanks that are welded directly to the ship's core superstructure, making them significantly safer than a modified transport. A system of external probes and dual pressure access nozzles allows these tanks to be accessed at any time, meaning that a Starfarer can scoop hydrogen from a gas giant as easily as it can offload fuel to a nearby ship. Starfarers can even be upgraded to carry basic refining mechanisms, allowing them to process sufficiently pure fuel themselves, without the need for a refinery visit. Another common Starfarer upgrade involves modifying the hydrogen tanking system to carry liquid foodstuff. Yet another NISC-designed upgrade pack allows for the replacement of the tanking machinery entirely with alternate cargo chassis that supports bulk goods transport. This has proven fairly unpopular, with bulk shippers preferring standard hull or a freelancer. The Starfarer also has seen unexpected success as a military support ship. MISC has licensed the design to Aegis Dynamics, which produces a Starfire Gemini, a heavily armored tactical variant under contract for the UEE military. So what this is saying is pretty simple. This is a very task-oriented ship. It is meant to suck the gas out of a gas giant, refine it with the proper upgrades, and then refuel large fleets. There are upgrades to make it carry liquid foodstuffs, and there are upgrades to let it carry bulk cargo. But really, those jobs were meant for other ships. This is a niche product. So for those of you that were looking for this, the Serenity, you're actually getting this, a supertanker, a refinery, and a fleet support refueling ship all in one. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be happy with it, but the Firefly, I love doing this, has a crew of many and a docking port for a shuttle on it. This has a crew of 2. And it does have guns on it, unlike the Firefly, which was unarmed, or I should say the Serenity, which was unarmed. But I'm not sure this is the Serenity. I think that might be whatever they turn the Banu Merchantman into. So the Banu Merchantman goes on sale tomorrow, which is, well, it's actually 2 days from now, but when you see this, it will be tomorrow, on Tuesday. And it goes on sale alongside the Idris and probably quite a number of other ships we have no idea about at this point. Hopefully the Origin Jump, the Mustang, and the RSI Orion. And if you could just unlock it, the Aegis Surveyor. We don't know. Hopefully they all go for sale. But I think that this is going to be a fairly popular ship. I'm not sure where it fits in line right now because of the statements made here about it being that specific a ship. There's lots of animals running around my room. I apologize. That's not all I have on it. I'm going to go over a little bit more here, alright? I'm going to swap out. I'm going to pick up my trusty laptop. And we are going to talk a little bit about this. And this is one of the things. This ship is 90 meters long, which is 180 feet. It's a big ship. 25 meters in beam, so it's not that wide. And it's 20 meters in height. That's 60 feet. That's like looking up at a C-130 or a C-5A possibly. I'm not sure. No cargo mass is 125 kilograms. This is a heavy ship with nothing in it. It carries 75 tons of fuel or liquid food stuff. But there's nothing that tells us how much dry goods or cargo it could carry if it's set up for just regular hauling of merchandise. This has a 2-person crew, unlike the Serenity, which carried around more than 3, 4, 5, 6 people. It has 8 upgrade slots, which are again for all of the different electronics upgrades and systems upgrades. You've got a max power plant size of 6, and we don't know what that power plant is yet, of course, because we're still in the early design stages or mid-design stages of the Starfarer. You've got a 2 TR5s and 1 TR6 that are pushing this along. So it's going to not mosey through space, but it's definitely not going to be the fastest ship out there. It's also not going to be very maneuverable, being so heavy with only 8 TR2 thrusters. You've got a nice shield, though, at size 7. And, of course, there will be different levels of size 7. So if you hook this up with the highest end one, you might go slower, but be able to take more of a punch. Let's just put it this way. The Starfarer isn't going to go into any contested areas. Vandal space, Lawless space, Xi'an space, without a proper escort. So have your 325As, Hornets, Avengers, Legionnaires, whatever it takes, a couple of constellations to tag this, to actually protect this whenever you're moving large amounts of cargo. You've got 2 Class 2, 1 Class 3, and 1 Class 5. Of course, the Class 5 is a turret, a big one. You are not going to be on the offense in this ship, obviously. This is for our merchant marine. This is for our people that want to move things from A to B to make their money. There is something in this game for everybody. So if you're a lone person that's trying to have a Starfarer and make a lot of credits for yourself, you can do it. Whether it's with friends that are backing you up or NPCs that are manning the turrets and actually following you along in ships outside. Or, of course, if you get extra character slots. I'm not ranking on this ship. I like it. It's gorgeous in this universe. And, of course, the MISC ships have a little bit of technology derived from Xi'an technology and Vandal and Banu technology. I think I read that in the lore. So they're moving things into their ships from other civilizations. So there's probably some specials that we don't know about until it comes out. But there's a lot of people talking about this being their version of the Serenity. And I think this is actually your version of the Exxon Valdez. No, I'm just kidding. But, of the big super tankers that move the precious oil from A to B, or maybe during that Operation Pitchfork, you need something to refuel you. You bring along a Starfarer, stop at a gas giant, fill up, refine the fuel, and fill everybody else up. This is going to be a ship that's needed in the game to do what it's supposed to do. That's going to lead me to the only part of the editorial I'm going to do before I thank you all again and again and again, and that's going to be this. This is a living, breathing world. Rob has stated many times on Wingman's Hangar that this is going to be a world where your actions are going to make a difference, where you're going to have to run missions to supply goods like metals and explosives and fuels to help make the ships and the missiles and things that are needed in the game. Or there's going to be less of those things available for everyone. So from the minute this game starts, everybody from the person flying the actual Aurora to the person that has the Idris Corvette is going to have a purpose, and they're going to be important. This ship is very important, especially if it's used as a fuel system, a fueler. You are going to need to get fuel to planets in order to fuel the ships that are there. Otherwise, fuel prices are going to go up. So that's what this ship is made for. And that's all I got to say. And we're going to move on to the end, which is going to be thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all. And I already thanked you many times, and I said how we were co-made the actual MVP last week, and I really appreciate it. Please post. I'm going to put this out there again. I want my viewers to contribute to this show. I want to hear comments in audio or video. I want to hear questions. I want people to send in their own segments that are 30 seconds to 90 seconds that I could put in somewhere. And it's only because this is a community. This isn't just me standing up here and talking to you. I want this to be our show, our place where we can express our obsession about the game. That's all I got for you right now. I'm pumped because it's Thanksgiving week. I work in retail and I'm going to be putting in 60 hours this week, and I'm doing 3 videos. So I am happy because I'm in a place that I love right now. Again, thank you all. I'm going to be back tomorrow night talking about the Idris Corvette, trying to get you pumped up to go spend over $1,000 on a virtual ship, because I think the Idris Corvette is gorgeous. That's all I got for you. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.